Between making ends meet and the current storms battering the Sacramento area, families who were struggling before are facing new challenges. One local organization is reaching out to help, and here to tell us about Yolo Food Bank's efforts to help those impacted by the recent storms is Maria Sogaviano, their Director of Communications and Strategic Initiatives. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, is Yolo Food Bank seeing an increased need in the community?
Yeah, in the last year, we've seen at least a 15% increase across all of our food distributions countywide. And it's in times like these too, when crises occur, that need goes up. And so it's really just, since the pandemic, it really hasn't let up. Folks, that were never reaching out for resources suddenly find themselves in a vulnerable position. And so we're just lucky to be there when folks, need us.
Yeah, and it's helpful to have you guys here. And you mentioned during these times like this, in the middle of storms and power outages, which is very recent, how does Yolo Food Bank respond?
Yeah, we like to think of ourselves as an extension of first responders, because we really are there responsive to the community's need, whatever that is, whenever that is. And so whether it's fires or floods or power outages because of these recent storms, we show up and we deliver. And so, yeah, this has been a busy last couple of weeks for us.
I can imagine. And can you talk about the connection between the storms and food insecurity?
Yes, folks that are experiencing food insecurity don't have, discretionary income to replace their food if they, lose power outages for more than a few days, which has happened in many parts of Yolo County. And so it's really important for us to go and deliver emergency food and water. But recently we instituted a new program, which we'll talk about here soon, that we were able to also give folks grocery cards so that they can purchase, hot meals or replacement food, whatever it is that they need. And so folks are just more vulnerable when times like these occur.
Yeah, and it's so helpful to have resources like Yolo Food Bank that you provide. So tell us about this grocery card distribution that you guys did, and how did you determine who could receive them?
Yeah, we instituted a program called Disaster Relief Grocery Cards. In short order, we worked with our partners. We received financial support from PG&E to identify the highest concentration of zip codes that were experiencing power outages in Yolo County. And then we drilled down to say, okay, which one of our partner agencies, which are partners that also are, local pantries, the homeless shelters, and looked at where those agencies were located and cross-checked, the zip code list, and then we identified those vulnerable residents that needed our support. And so we've been distributing 2,600 $40 grocery cards to all of those impacted neighborhoods.
Wow, and why did Yolo Food Bank, want to do this? With so much going on, what was it that made you say, hey, we need to step in and help in any way that we can?
Yeah, we're just here to help, to meet the need, and we do everything we can whenever, like I mentioned, pandemic, whether it's a natural disaster, whatever it is, we're a community asset, and so that's how we see ourselves. We have to show up and step up, and really this has been a community-wide effort. Our partner agencies have been working tirelessly because they've been the ones on the ground too, distributing the cards, and local elected officials have shown up too at our distributions, just answering questions for folks. And so it's been a good time to learn from each other and work together.
Yeah, and what has been the response from the community, especially those who were able to receive those grocery cards?
Yeah, they've been they were surprised but really happy. I think it goes a long way. Important piece too is that folks can then, purchase food that according to their dietary needs and their cultural preferences. So it's nice to give folks the option in this way. And the grocery stores we've worked with, Rayleigh's, Nugget Markets, Grocery Outlet, and Walmart too, have been identified. We're identified as like the most local for folks, and so it's convenient.
Yeah, and so how can our viewers find out if they're eligible?
Yeah, you can go to yolofoodbank.org, and there's a list of cities, and there's organizations that are delivering these grocery cards in each city. So just call them and let them know if you do reside in that city, and they'll let you know if they have grocery cards on hand and when you can pick one up.
Oh, this is great work that you're doing at Yolo Food Bank. Did you have any final things to say to our viewers?
I do always want to say, if you are in need, también si necesita usted ayuda y vive en el condado de Yolo, por favor acérquese a nuestras despensas en yolofoodbank.org. If you're in need, come visit us. find out more at yolofoodbank.org.
All right, amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank
and
you.
for the
Thank you.
efforts you do. Yes, and for
Appreciate it.
more information, visit yolofoodbank.org/findfood.